Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to episode 14 of my AutoAudiography. This week we're going to be taking a look at a very special record. One that you might have seen on one of my haul videos recently. And this is probably the cornerstone of what made me. This is the 1996 offering by the band The Suicide Machines. This is Destruction by Definition. Okay, Destruction by Definition. By the band The Suicide Machines, previously known as Jack Kevorkian and The Suicide Machines. I have a record of the kind of like the demos for this record. It's a split with the Rudiments called Skank for Brains. You see on the back right there. Jack Kevorkian and The Suicide Machines. Both local punk rock ska bands. So this record made up my life of my 8th grade summer, which is kind of funny because that summer, which would be, I think it was the summer of '96. That school year, in 8th grade, I had actually failed my math class. So I had to go to summer school. Now, for summer school, my parents thought it would be fitting because it's a bad thing to go to summer school, that I ride my bike from home to school in order to get there, because they both worked. So, on my way from home to school, I, like, so many of us back then had Discman. So I'd put a CD in and just ride my bike. Now, the CDs that I brought with me most times were of the skate punk variety. A few other albums that I am going to do on this as an AutoAudiography I picked up at Harmony House. Kind of, not on my way to school, but I'd go out of my way a little bit to get there. Maybe like a 10-minute bike ride to get to that Harmony House. And I'd go to that Harmony House and just scour the CDs for covers that I thought looked cool. Because back then, there wasn't a punk rock scene around me, at least in the suburbs. And the internet wasn't quite what it is now. So, you don't really get new music as easily as you do now. So I'd go up to that Harmony House, pick out some album covers that I thought looked cool, and I'd listen to them. And I still do that to this day. Like, I'll go to Best Buy or whatever, and, well, not so much anymore. They don't really have music, but if there's a band I haven't heard of, I'll look at the cover art and be like, oh, that looks pretty sweet, and I'll try it out. But back then, not having like a mainstream punk kind of thing going on, found all these bands, and I got to talking to the guy at the Harmony House, and one of the guys I got to know really well, and he's like, oh man, I know all the bands you like. I know the stuff you've been picking up. You gotta try this band out. I'm like, okay. So he gives me this. And he's like, these dudes are local, like 45 minutes away. And they're amazing. You gotta try them. I was like, sure, ring me up. Let's do it. I opened it up. And first off, it came with a sticker. Like, I never had an album before that came with a sticker. It came with a sticker of this guy right here. And then the Suicide Machines logo, like, next to it. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, nobody gives away stickers. You have to buy them extra. So that was cool. And then you open up the CD, and the CD is just, it looks like concrete. It's just gray, speckled light gray. And I was like, oh, man, okay. Put it in, press play on my Discman, and head off. And instantly changed. They were just, for me, the epitome of everything I was looking for in music at that time. Just raw, fast, just awesome. Just so good. And the album, I don't know if it's just because to me it holds such a special place in my heart that it holds up still, but I'll still listen to it all the time. And they were the band that I first really, like, I felt I was onto something. You know, this record was their first proper record, I guess. They had another one previously called Green World, which I still have never been able to find. I'd like to, just to see what it was like, but they just had this great mix of punk and like some ska thrown in there. So a couple of songs on here, you'll hear some horns going on, and it just like, it kind of blew me away because my dad used to play trumpet. He played it in marching band in school. I have heard him play it still to this day. He actually has a record of his high school band playing that I've heard, and you just think of brass instruments playing a certain kind of music. This was the first time that I had heard those kind of instruments playing in this kind of music. And after this, I actually had gotten into Muddy Muddy Boss Tones, which you might have seen the AutoAudiography for that one. But it was just amazing to me. It was something fantastic and something new. And it was a band I could follow. All the bands that I previously listened to, like I said, I'll get into some of those later, weren't actively doing anything at the time. So I couldn't really, try to go see Black Flag play at a show. So, this was my first, I guess people that follow the Grateful Dead, that's the kind of person I was with Suicide Machines. And it's funny, well, I'll get into that in a second, but, so I picked this up, loved it. Started, hearing through the grapevine that they were working on another record, like in like a year or two, and that record came along called Battle Hymns. Much harder than Destruction by Definition, a lot quicker. There's actually 2 songs on this record that are under 5 seconds long. Just one chord and one word, and that's it. Kind of funny, but this was the first new, the day it came out, I was at Harmony House getting the CD, and then went on a trip with my dad to a place called Grand Haven, which is on the other side of the state, so kind of a long drive, and I listened to this thing over and over and over again. It is just this band I freaking love so much. One of the songs actually on their Destruction by Definition, the one this is about, is called Van's Song. Right there. And it's actually a song about the shoes, Van's skate shoes. After hearing this song, I went out and bought my first pair of Vans. And I did not wear anything other than Vans from that point until I wore them. Shit, I can't even remember. It was years and years and years. But because of that song, and because my wife at the time, okay, in the year 2000, she worked at the Vans shoe store in the mall. Because of her, I hung out there all the time. And when she quit that job, I took over her job because I was basically doing it anyway, just not getting paid for it. So I started working at the Vans shoe store. And many times while working at that store, the guys from the Suicide Machines would come in and shop and buy shoes. So I've had a lot of interactions with most of the guys from the band. Other times I would see guys from the band at local shows. I remember one show, it was Green Day and a band opening for them called The Living End that I was really into at the time. I went to that show. It was an outdoor show at a place called the Phoenix Plaza. And while The Living End was playing, at the merch table, I saw Jason, who is the singer for Suicide Machines. I saw him there. I went up and I started talking to him, and we just kind of bullshit for like 10 minutes. And it was just, it's cool. I love getting to see him. I think he might be the only original member left of the band. Actually, their original drummer, Derek, is now the drummer for Alkaline Trio. So a bunch of their band members, well, not a bunch, but band members have come and gone, and it's just, I love this band. They're so fantastic, and I love this album. It really is like it's like a piece of me, and it's fantastic. So if you get the chance, if you have any desire to, go check out the Suicide Machines. The album is Destruction by Definition. Give it a shot. It's fantastic. It really is. So that'll be it for this edition of AutoAudiography. Have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye.